Welcome, HE.SHE.THEY family, to this latest edition of our podcast, where we are very excited to welcome the next esteemed guest, someone who brings new meaning to the term multi-talented, the amazing Sita Abellan. Hold tight whilst I reel off just a portion of her credentials here, because it's kind of crazy. Sita is a world-renowned model, having lived in Milan and walked for brands such as Rihanna's Fenty. A fashion designer in her own right, releasing multiple of her own collections. A stylist for the likes of J Balvin, having recently attended the New York Met Gala with him. Completed art direction and photography for Kim Kardashian, amongst multiple others. And if that wasn't enough, she's also an incredible techno DJ, performing with artists such as Nina Kraviz, the Martinez Brothers and Justice, whether it's Sonar Barcelona, in Ibiza, or the Hard Events series in the USA and South America. Last but by no means least, Sita delivered a monster Radio 1 residency mix for HE.SHE.THEY this summer. She is one to watch, to say the very least, and a super lovely person to boot. So without further delay, please enjoy this conversation with the gorgeous Sita Abellan.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
It sounds tiring just being you.
No, it's so fun.
Honestly, Sita, like that list is just, I mean, it's incredible. And you're still so young, you're going to achieve. I'm so excited about all the things you're going to achieve, like, even in the next few years. It's incredible.
Yes, Sita, do you think that you might become the first ever American female president?
Me? President?
Yeah. I think
Wow.
if you're on the same trajectory, maybe 20, 30 years, you could do what Hillary never could and take the throne.
Yeah, I mean, I could be like the next president of Spain, actually. We need him. We need like a new president here, but yeah,
I mean, you'd be the most stylish president there ever was, ever.
Yeah.
That would be so good.
I mean, you'd probably upstage Angela Merkel with some of your fashion choices.
Right.
That's not that difficult,
Yeah,
is it,
bless.
Right.
Bless her.
But you've had like the maddest journey, so I think let's take you back to your little village in Spain where it all started.
Yeah, so I'm from Murcia. It's like a small city in the east of Spain.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I really love fashion since I was really, really young. Like when I remember like with 5 years old, like going to shops with my babysitter and telling the girl of the store, like, hey, my mom is gonna come later to buy me this. And like everybody would be like, what? And then my mom would go there and she would be like, this is ugly. Like, how is she gonna wear it? And then after that, I wouldn't take it off. Like, I would wear it like every day. And I don't know, my mom is a very stylish person and I really like her fashion and all that. I was really into fashion, since the beginning. And somehow, well, I didn't realize what I wanted to do with my life till I started studying in the uni.
Mm-hmm.
I actually studied advertising and PR. I didn't want to do communication, but I didn't have the choice to go somewhere to study like in a good school for design or something like that.
Yeah.
So I had to adapt to that. And then I realized what I wanted to do with my life. And in the meantime, I started playing when I started to DJ when I was like 18 in a small bar in my hometown. And it was just like as a hobby with a friend of mine. And we were just like having fun, like playing some music. And somehow I realized I like to connect with people through music and also with my fashion, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, then everything, both my passions became my job.
That's what we all dream of, right?
I never expect
that we could do every day what we love and actually
right.
earn a living from it. What can I ask, like, what your musical influences were, like when you were growing up? Like, what music were you listening to that made you really excited to want to get out there and DJ?
Actually, when I was a teenager, I really liked dark music. I was really into like punk music and like
sick.
Dark wave and industrial music. Yeah, and I don't know, I was kind of goth when I was younger.
I'm 40 and still a goth.
Yeah.
my mom would be like
Cocteau Twins, Susie and the Banshees, all the Creatures, all those things.
Yeah, and my mom will be like, "Why are you always dressed in black? Like, why I had very long hair I always wore like a dark lip and like I don't know. They will be like, "Why are you wearing all this clothes?" But then after that, somehow, when I started listening to more like electronic music, I started listening to more like Miss Kitten, The Hacker. I don't know. There was like a period.
We love Miss Kitten. Miss Kitten's like her mom.
Yeah, we love Miss Kitten. We're throwing a party at Fabric in September for London Pride, and Miss Kitten's playing for it, and she's played for us before. Like, we love her. Yeah. She's incredible.
Yeah, she's my muse, actually. And I'm so happy this summer I'm playing in Corsica, a back-to-back with her.
No way, that's awesome.
Yeah. At Calvi on the Rocks in the festival.
We'll have to do something with HE.SHE.THEY.
Yeah, I would love that. Like, I actually did like an interview with her for Document Journal, the magazine, like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. There was like we don't know each other personally. Like we were just doing like a phone call with a journalist, and we were just asking each other questions. And I was like, wow, like I'm not like a big fan of nobody. Like actually, like I don't have like. When they say to me, like, who inspires you, whatever, I always say the first one. Well, apart from my grandmother, obviously, and my mom.
Oh, praise all grandmothers everywhere.
Yeah, she's like my biggest inspiration, like Miss Kitten. So there was like a period where I listened like more. I was listening to more bands like Chicks on Speed, Peaches.
Peaches.
Like all this kind of thing. And then I started listening more Miss Kitten, The Hacker, like all that French electronic thing. And yeah, I don't know. Actually, when I started playing, it was more like a house vibe, like more fun. But then I realized I didn't want to have people on the dance floor talking and dancing with each other. And I wanted more to them to feel like they're in their own world and like listening to music. That's why I love techno. So somehow I feel like it makes you close yourself when you are listening to it. And especially when you go to techno clubs, you don't see like a lot of people like talking to each other, like dancing. It's just like on their bubble, and that's
really interesting. That's a really good point, for sure. You said earlier that you realized when you were sort of at uni what you wanted to do with your life. Was there like a light bulb moment? Was there a particular party or a particular moment where you were like, okay, this is the moment? Like for me, it was my first trip to Glastonbury, and when I stood there in amongst this crowd, and I just realized that I wanted to always have to do this for a job. Did you have like a moment like that, or how did you realize?
I think since I was a kid, I was like well, you mean like that I realized in the uni what I wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
So basically when I was like in the uni, well, I knew that what I was studying wasn't really what I wanted to do. I realized I couldn't work for nobody when I was in the uni because my projects were good, but at the same time, the teachers were like, we cannot understand what you are trying to say, because at the end, advertising is something that, I mean, usually everybody has to understand. When you are selling something, you want to sell, unless you have like a specific public for something, usually the things you sell, you want everybody to buy them. And in the uni, I was like, well, I realized I'm not a person that can sell something for somebody, and I'm not doing something to be understood, or I just do my thing. And if someone gets it, that's amazing. And if not, that's cool too. You know what I mean? So
it sounds like you realized you were the artist at that point. You know what you were going to sell was something you were going to create, and selling for other people, and like having to sell if you didn't really believe in it. And just sounds like you realized you really believed in yourself and what you could put out in the world. That's that's amazing.
I can't say that's like 100% true, because when I was like a teenager, I used to have a lot of insecurities, like every teenager, you know, like every teen. And somehow also the fact that where I'm coming from is like a small city, not everybody, I must say, like they couldn't understand what I was doing. And my family neither. So it was a very hard time as a teenager because I didn't feel understood and I felt like weird and I didn't know what I was doing or what I wanted to do. So it was really like a big confusion, like everything. Like I didn't know, where to go.
I mean, it totally, as you say, it makes sense. I mean, you grew up liking all these strong characters or gothic, or like Miss Kitten is just as iconic fashion-wise, and some of her imagery with all the latex and the nurses' outfits and like the tattoos, and like when you're in I come from a small town as well. It's like when you have that really strong imagery. Like lots of people don't get it. Like you being a goth in Montserrat, people are like, "What is that girl about?" But then when you become more global, you realize that small group of people is actually really big,
right?
And it's better, like, because I was goth. Like, I definitely realized it's better for someone to either really like something or really hate it.
Yeah.
Like, than just for people to be kind of like in the middle. Yeah, it's okay. Like, I like your really strong imagery. There'll be lots of people who don't like it, but those who do like it will really like it.
Right, that's true. That's true. And at some point also when I left Murcia, because it took me some years to leave Murcia because I couldn't. And until my 20s, 21, something like that, I didn't leave Murcia. And then when I came back after all the work I was doing and everything, I realized like, oh my God, like all the people that were talking shit about me now, they're licking my ass. And like, also that point, and also another point is like what I was wearing, like, when I was living in Murcia, when I was like 16, 15, then 10 years later is what people are wearing. So it's like people will laugh at me, like saying, I remember when I was wearing those creepers. You remember the shoe, the creepers?
Yeah, I remember those.
The rockabilly shoe, the creeper with the platform and the pointy shoe. And I remember I had those in leopard and I was wearing them every day with like super skinny pants and like short t-shirts, and like everybody would look at me like, what the fuck, like where are you coming from, like what is this? And then after, I remember when it started to be a trend to have like platform on your shoe, and everybody will start wearing like trainers with platform, like sandals with platform. I would be like, whoa.
Yeah, you are just ahead of the game.
Right. So it's like, yeah, when I was a teen, obviously I suffered from all of that, but I'm kind of also in some part grateful for that, because that made me stronger, and that made me also remember I used to be a model too. I started being a model when I was 16, so it was very tough for me to travel alone and to be like judged all the time for my image, and it's a very, very bad. No, it's not bad, but it's very difficult and like awkward. If it's the word, and yeah.
How did you start modeling? How did that come about? Were you discovered by a scout? Did someone see you, or were you trying to get into it? How did it work?
So before all these Instagram and all this kind of thing, before people would take selfies of themselves and all this, yeah. I asked my mom to buy me a camera. When I was like 16, she bought me a camera for Christmas. And I was like, whoa, I want to be a photographer. I like to take pictures. But then I realized I didn't like to take pictures. I just like to take pictures of myself. So I would take, yeah. So when it was the time for me to study for the exam, this is not like, I'm not the best example as a student, honestly. But yeah, when I had to study, I would take that time to like make some breaks and at my place, take some of my mom vintage clothes that she has in the closet, and I would take pictures with the camera on my place. And these pictures, I mean, they were kind of sexy, and like somehow also some teachers of my high school in that time, they were coming to me asking me if I was okay, because it didn't seem okay for them. And also like my family were kind of like, what is she doing? Like she's taking, because I mean, there were sexy pictures. Some of them I was like half naked. You couldn't really see, it was not like sexual pictures, obviously, you know, like, but I know, it was like kind of sexy pictures and all these kind of things. And they were beautiful at the same time. I'm very like, everything was thought, like my look, my makeup, everything. And I started to take pictures like that. And I had like a Tumblr. Actually, like I had a good following on Tumblr, and people will know me on the internet for that. And then I don't know, thanks to like Facebook and like Instagram later and all that, I met like a lot of people in the fashion industry that were interested in working with me. And I started going to Madrid and to work. And then, yeah, when I moved out from Murcia, I went to Milan to study 1 year, that I actually stayed 4 years. But I did an student exchange and I stayed there. And yeah.
Were you studying design when you went to Milan? Was that what you went there to study?
No. I studied advertising.
Oh, okay. Still when you went to Milan as well, not while you were still in Spain. Amazing.
Yeah, because that was a student exchange from my uni Murcia with Milan, with the Sacred Word of Milan. Yeah, and why I was saying this, because I moved there and yeah, that's when my life kind of changed, because I found like an agency, a very good agency that was interested in working with me. Mm-hmm. I started to have like a residency in a club there in plastic. So I started moving, and then Milan obviously is a very international city, and for fashion is very good. So I met a lot of people and all that, and yeah. That's how it worked.
So how long was it from when you got signed in Milan till when you found yourself like walking in Rihanna's Fenty fashion show?
2 years, actually.
Wow.
1 year and a half, 2 years. Actually, this thing of the video of Rihanna was because I received a message on my Instagram of the director of the agency, Wilhelmina, and they wrote me saying, "Oh, we want to bring it to New York, blah, blah." And I trust them because they say that they will pay for my visa and all that. They usually don't pay for visas, you know. So they were like very convinced.
Yeah, so it would have been a big risk for you to pay for all that yourself and then just show up there, yeah.
Right. And we know also the model life, unless you are a top model, is not the best life, you know. It's just like working for paying with the life you have, you know. And I don't know, it was kind of frustrating at the end, because I realized I didn't want to work with my image as the main thing, you know. Mm-hmm. Like obviously I still work with my image, but not at the point that I go to a casting and then like I realized that I love fashion, and like modeling helped me understand how the industry works and how when you go to a shoot everything works. And I love to work with great stylists and to see and to admire their work and how they work and all that. That helped me learn that. But at the same time, I was sure that I didn't want to end up just being a model, you know. I wanted to give something more of myself to the world than just like my face and my body, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, you'd been a DJ like the whole time, and music has always been an equal passion of yours as well as fashion, like growing up. But when you decided to sort of start to DJ more, like towards the end of the modelling or as well during, but did you find that, because there can be some stereotypes about models which are totally untrue, and did you feel that at all when you started to tell people, you know, hey, I'm a model but I also DJ?
Obviously.
I can imagine that there were people,
nowadays it's still the same thing. Like the fact that I come from the fashion industry, and the fact that I'm still a stylist and I'm a designer and I do many things. For some people that's categorized as a bad DJ, or someone that just wants to DJ for, I don't know, for something else that is just, you know. And it's kind of sad, but I think it's not only with models. In the techno scene also, especially with women, is a problem. Now, thanks God that these last years we have like very big and good DJs like Nina like Amelie or Peggy or Charlotte, that girls that put the panorama in another level, and but at the end there are a lot of male DJs more than female DJs. Yeah, and it's kind of sad,
Things are starting less. Things are starting to change, which is really amazing.
Right.
But you're totally right. It has only been in recent years. And I don't think any man who had done modelling work would get scrutinised for then DJing as well in the same way that a woman would. And that's a real shame.
But I mean, the thing is as well, that even comes from other women.
Yeah, that's true.
As well. It's an... Because everyone, I guess, misogyny affects women and men in that toxic way of just like we know that there are some DJs that had made like adult films and stuff before, and like they really had to battle twice as hard for people to respect them, and it's so sad because if you'd been a doctor, no one would be like, oh, you can't be a doctor and be a DJ. That's crazy. Like
and it's kind of sad because at the end, an artist doesn't have to put limit to their own expression, and it's especially like the techno scene. It's something that I have been talking about in the last days with my friends. Actually, how the techno scene is so close, to these things. Especially the techno scene. It's sad, but it's like that, and I don't know. I would love to contribute, to this evolution of the techno scene. Well, you will see with the music I'm making, and but it's kind of sad that this still happens.
Because the thing is, you're an artist, like who takes pictures of themselves and other people and things like that. It's weird because I think if you were an artist who painted, people wouldn't think of you in that way. But like you take awesome selfies and change them and stuff, like a bit like a Cindy Sherman or one of these cool like self-portrait autobiographies that manipulate image and stuff.
Yeah, I must say that also the problem of that is that also the fashion industry is not nowadays is not the best industry. Like the fashion has been like, how you say that in English, like masificado, like it's mass. There's too much. So at the end,
it's less like couture, less individuality.
It lost the value of it.
Yeah,
kind of for me, and it's sad because at the end, like how I see fashion, same way I see music, same way I see art. For me, it's all art, but more as I see as a painter. For me, it's all the same because at the end, a designer for me is an artist. You're making clothes, you're making your clothes your way. Yeah, but the problem is that nowadays there has been like a super production of fashion and like it's the industry also is kind of weird. I must say it's difficult. It's difficult and I don't know. So that's why I understand why people can categorize me in that kind of thing because of that, but I don't know.
Tell us a bit about you mentioned just then about the music you're making and stuff. I think I heard a really, really quick clip on your Insta story a little while ago of a track and you sort of said, tease something coming soon. It sounded awesome. Like what plans have you got to release music? Have you got loads of things ready to go?
Actually I'm preparing, now I'm finishing my EP. It's gonna be like 4 songs, and I'm launching that if I'm not wrong at the end of the summer.
Cool.
And then I'm launching another EP in the end of the year, basically for like a different label.
Have you already got labels for them or?
Right, but I cannot say anything yet. But
Oh, you have, but you just can't let us know yet. No world exclusive for us.
I'd love. So I'd love to hear. I thought that was really interesting what you said about being on the shoots and like learning the stylists and different things like that, because you've obviously got it so innate inside you, like understanding what goes with what and your style and individuality and different things. But then you've done some amazing styling for other people. It's you've done lots of things with J Balvin, right? Are you his exclusive stylist still? That was like a chance meeting at a festival. Was it Coachella? And then you just getting on really well. Like, that's amazing to just go to a festival and then suddenly you're J Balvin stylist. Like, that's amazing.
Well, yeah, actually, like, we were talking for some months before, and then we had the chance to meet at Coachella because I was there. And then we became super close friends. I don't know, he's a person that always loves fashion. And I must say, I love reggaeton since I was a kid, even though I love techno. I shouldn't say this, but let's say this too.
No,
I love reggaeton music. And
like, I love Madonna, like, a lot. But then I'm also a goth, so it's like, you're allowed to like more than one fucking type of music.
Yeah, I like loads of things as well.
No, I love reggaeton since I was a kid. I mean, the time that I started to go out in Murcia, apart from the electronic clubs where I was going to, I used to go to a lot of reggaeton clubs, and we were all dancing that. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, with Jay, we met at Coachella. We became super close friends, and somehow after some months of friendship, we started to work together. He asked me if I wanted to style him for some shows that he had. So we started to work together, and that's how it worked. And yeah, that's all.
Amazing. That's so cool. You've worked with loads of other people, right? So you do styling with J Balvin, but then also you do kind of art direction and photography, like, for other people. You've worked with Kim Kardashian a couple of times. Is that right?
Yeah. I shoot her for Oda, the cover of Oda magazine, and then and then now we shoot for Skin,
which is a cool cover, by the way.
Thank you.
Like, I'm into that. Like, I like the J Balvin stuff, but I'm kind of obsessed with Kim Kardashian. So.
Yeah.
Like, as a lot of people are, it's like, even if you don't like her, everybody knows about her. She's an inescapable part of the 21st century, right?
Yeah.
She's so stunning.
Yeah, and I'm also very happy with the work, like with the things that we have been doing together, Kim and I, because I think I got her out of her usual aesthetic, you know? Like, for instance...
You 100% did that. That's the thing. It's
right. And I'm so happy that she let me do it, you know? Because usually I know that usually she likes to keep her, you know, her aesthetic and all that. And with me, she lets me do what I think is going to suit her, you know?
Well, I guess that's the thing. She is a $1 billion industry.
Right.
So it's like, when it's a $1 billion industry, people don't like to fuck with that much.
Right.
But it's like, that's what I loved about it. I was like, you haven't kind of done a Kim Kardashian shoot. Kim's kind of done a Sita shoot.
Yeah.
Which is very, very different.
Yeah.
Funny, because my ex-boyfriend does, like, you know, her kind of like Spanx clothing wear.
Yeah.
But like, he went and did that all, but like in weird food style and things. So he took what she was doing and put it somewhere else. So I think that is the cool thing about Kim, that if you have a really good idea that's a bit left field, she kind of wants to break away from this one-dimensional vision of what Kim Kardashian is supposed to be, because she's also quite a smart woman, which I don't think people give her enough credit for.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I am a big Kim fan, so just like, it's silly, it's weird. There's an affinity between goth and Kim Kardashian.
She's super clever.
Yeah,
she's super clever
smart.
and intelligent. And I must say, like, because I'm not like a follower of nobody. I never in my life been. And until I didn't meet her, I didn't follow her or anything. We just met actually through Kanye. And I don't know, I really like this. She's super, like, I don't know. I think she's super clever. She's super intelligent. She's like a boss, a fucking boss. Like a fucking boss. Yeah. And I admire her as a woman. I think she's a fucking boss. And yeah,
I think she understands the need to kind of like, as much as you are that $1 billion industry, you always have to slightly pivot and slightly reinvent yourself to like keep staying relevant and then keep people being interested. And I think she was so smart to like really let you kind of like run with that. And I saw a little clip saying that, you know, you were even like making gloves and adding things on last minute and stuff on the shoot, which is like,
yeah.
Awesome.
Do you know what I always wanted Kim to do is to be in a Pedro Almodovar movie?
Who?
I always thought that like because that's what
I don't know who that is. Who's that?
Oh, the best like Spanish film director in my opinion. Like one of the best in the world, really. Just because I remember my mum was into world cinema, so I'd never been to Spain, but all my first kind of learnings about Spain were like watching the films like Woman on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown and like Live Flesh and all these things. Or she made us watch, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but films by Bigas Lunas.
Who?
So like Hamon and things like that. How do you pronounce the director's name?
What's his name again?
Bigas Lunas?
Vigas Luna?
Yeah.
Vigas Luna? I don't know. Vigas Luna? Vigas Luna? What's his name? That's her last name, no?
Oh, wait there. Let me find. Oh, he directed Hamon with Javier Bardem.
Yeah, I know Hamon.
Because that was like my favorite film. Also, I think I probably realized I was a little bit gay after watching Javier Bardem run about.
Vigas Lunas. Yeah, Vigas Lunas.
Yeah. Javier Bardem.
Yeah, but my favorite is Almodovar for sure.
As you say, Javier Bardem running about naked.
Yeah, Bardem, I love.
Definitely made me like realize that I was maybe a bit gay when I was young, because he was so beautiful. And that bullfighting scene where he's naked, it's like Jesus Christ. It's a bit like Gaudi and things in Barcelona. It's like artists in Spain have just been allowed to like really create, because especially in the Spanish-speaking world, like Spain is the Hollywood, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Of all that kind of like Spanish first language cinema. It's just creativity and things.
Yeah, the problem is that the Spanish cinema is not well known in the world, I think. Apart from Almodovar, a couple of other directors, we're not known very well for cinema, I must say.
I mean,
unfortunately.
I guess some of your actors and actresses are massive, though. Like having, like Penelope Cruz and all those kinds of things.
Penelope, Rosy de Palma. Who else? Well, Javier Bardem, obviously. Antonio Banderas.
Oh, Antonio Banderas. Which, to be fair, all those people all got their breaks through Pedro Almodovar. They were all big Pedro Almodovar movie actors and actresses.
Right. Yeah, I would love Pedro Almodovar to take me for a film. Actually, I have been saying this for some years now. When they ask me if I'm going to act, I will send him a message, but he never reads it.
Oh, really?
I would say, I don't know if you hear me, take me for your film.
I think
for one of your films. I would love.
Didn't Pedro do something with Rosalia as well?
Yeah, she did like a cameo in the last thing that he made. Yeah.
Like, I would love you to style her. I think you would smash it with her.
With Rosalia, yeah.
I think you could take her in a.
Yeah. We've been talking about that for some time now because we are friends, but we haven't had the chance yet to work together. But I would love.
Maybe that's how you do the Pedro Almodovar thing. You style Rosalia in a Pedro Almodovar film.
No, but I want to act.
Yeah?
I don't want to, well, if I can style, obviously also. But I want to act in the film of Almodovar.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think you do enough things already because you're so lazy. You better start acting and get your ass in gear, man.
Well, there's been a little bit of acting, Sita. Your little your YouTube videos, La Vida de Sita, when you're I love it when you're the newscaster at the beginning, like all with the beehive and the glasses and everything. It's so fun. There's an artist here in the UK, like a drag artist called Juno Birch, who has like a very similar
I know.
beehive and glasses.
I know.
I loved it. How many what made you want to sort of start that little project? Did you just
actually I didn't want to stop it, but we had so many things going on and all that we didn't have like the right time to like keep doing that. But I have that in mind, like this is gonna come back for sure. It was so fun. It was so fun. But it was actually also in a very hectic moment of my life. Because I was like, this was like 4 years ago, I think. My life was, still my life is a chaos, but in that time was more. I was doing so many things at the same time also. Well, if now I'm doing more things, like a lot of things at the same time. At that time, I was doing more.
Wow.
And like running everywhere. And like, yeah, but it was so fun. I would love to for La Vida de Sita to come back for sure. Because we're trying.
Because in lockdown, I created my own drag TV series.
I see.
I did drag for the first time.
Fun.
So Sita, if you ever want to act or bring your characters back, I have a very small drag Instagram, very loyal but very small Instagram following. They'd be loving your newsreader character. I created Dame Diana Dupree, who was an agoraphobic old film star who like with her non-binary child that was an alcoholic, and they came together during rehab.
Yeah.
And also this old I love like really weird women, like in life.
That's why he works with me.
Oh, you stole my joke. But yeah, so Sophia and I were really vibing off you doing the acting thing. It was really good. It was just really fun that it makes sense you saying that you grew up like in goth stuff and Kitten and stuff and like all these kind of like larger than life, almost like cartoon characters, because they're so different. That you did that with your own kind of creations,
right?
Because we're good mates with like people like Fecal Matter and things like that, and like more recently like the Virgin Maria and things like that. It's like I think there's a really fun generation because of digital.
Right.
It allows people to play with their image and create things that just couldn't have existed on analog cameras and stuff before.
Right. Yeah, I think the internet allow a lot of people, like also me, to like, especially when you're from a small town, you know, to like know more about the world and find, you know, when you feel alone in your small city and like you feel that nobody understands you, then you realize there are more people like you outside, and you know, also help us to like give exposure and like, you know, I think it's good, but I also find the bad point about the internet, obviously, because you know you can find a lot of content that is not.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Like lots of people then are sort of struggling with their image. They're seeing a lot of images that are altered so much and feel that enhances their own insecurities. So there's but as with everything in life, there's both sides of it. So I love that people can express themselves, but there's quite a few like Instagram accounts that I follow which kind of show how certain influencers like manage to get certain bikini shots and different things like that, and you realize, okay, not all of this is real. Like I love the fashion and the creativity, but when it's just always like really edited, I think it's just really nice for everyone to understand that it's like it's both things, and that everyone should just express their own individuality basically, and it's all beautiful, like whether you've used an app to like change your image or whatever, like
They should have little disclaimers, shouldn't they? Be like, it's okay, like I should, but then you know what, I'm bad for it as well, because I'm like, we should all look beautiful and it doesn't matter. I will so breathe in if I'm on a photo shoot, because Keep breathing out.
Me too.
I have a very different silhouette.
Yeah.
So it is hard, but then I guess it's always been a bit like that. Ultimately, is also what makeup is. There's always been these kind of transformative ways that, like, or corsets or things like that. Like, as much as we're like, oh, Instagram's always done that. Corsets used to be there for years just to go shrink people's stomachs to make it look full. So,
True.
or makeup, like, oh god, we've got spots. Let's go and I mean, like, if you look at like French Revolutionary kind of times, the amount of like white makeup that was over people's faces. So
Right.
I think it's always been a human kind of problem. It just happens to be in a digital space at the moment.
There was a great interview with Oprah Winfrey and RuPaul, and RuPaul made this comment saying, we're all born naked and the rest is drag. And I was like folding my washing when I was listening to it, and I stopped and I was like, it's so true. It doesn't matter if you are a particular drag artist or like however you want to play with your image, like everyone's doing it, as you say, from makeup and from clothes and from everything. Like we're all kind of creating a character for ourselves that goes out into the world, and that's always slightly different from who we are when we are in our rooms on our own, you know.
I love Oprah.
That's
right.
Even more than Kim.
Me too.
Like, I really want Oprah to interview me so I can just talk about myself.
Oh God, of course you do. Of course you do.
I love. Yeah, no, I do. I love all that stuff. I'd want to be on The View with Whoopi Goldberg. Like, they're all my kind of 80s icons. Were it's from watching The Colour Purple when I was younger.
That's true. Sita, I really, really love your new jewelry line that you've brought out, the Lilith.
Yeah.
And I love all the snake imagery and stuff. Like, where did the inspiration for that come from? Because even on your website and stuff, it's got an incredible, like, spiritual, witchy feel about everything. And I just wondered have you always been into that? And that's kind of, where did that come from?
Well, yeah, I mean, the aesthetic of the website is because I always love like 3D characters and like kind of creepy things like Sims, games like Sims and all that. I wanted to do like something inspired on that. And for Lily, I always use as a logo since my beginning as a DJ. My logo was a snake, but because I love snakes. Also, I thought that it would look very nice with my S of Sita, the snake, and I started using the snakes as logos. Then it came Lily. Lily, I launched the first collection like, I don't know, 4 years ago. And yeah, I named it Lily because I love the story of, there's like a legend of, or like a myth of Lily that says that it's not written in the Bible. I think only in the Jewish Bible they have this thing that Lily was the first woman that ever existed in the Eden Garden, and that really got my attention because I mean in the Catholic church and all that, Lilith is considered as like a demon, basically. Yeah. And then I understood by studying it that it's basically the first woman that ever existed before even Eve existed. So basically there was Lilith and Adam. Lilith and Adam, and like Lilith was like she was kicked out from the Eden Garden because she didn't want to take like the orders of God. So I found this very inspiring, and because she was like an independent woman and she didn't want to take orders.
So another boss bitch.
Yeah.
Right. She didn't want to take orders. So I thought, okay, what's the best name to name my first ever brand? And then I said Lily. And then somehow after I decided to name it Lilith, I realized that in some places they say that the snake that appears when Adam and Eve are already in the Eden Garden, the snake that appears and tells them to buy the apple, it's actually Lily.
Yeah.
So she comes. So without knowing all these connections, because I already had my snake, I decided to put the name of Lily. And then after all this, I realized that it's even connected because Lily, some religions think that Lily was the snake that comes after and tells them to bite it.
That's cool.
So do you think now if you go back to Montserrat, they'll burn you as a witch?
Probably.
Like defying the
probably.
Catholic
I'm
Church.
actually a witch. Not a bad one.
Oh,
no.
But we're all about Wicca and white witchcraft.
No, but I tell you, I know a lot of people that are witches and are bad, but I don't abuse of powers, if I can say. I'm like a good witch, so I think still they will burn me because I make a lot of all these names and presences, no? If you can say like that. So probably I will be burned for that. But
I mean, you're allowed to be now. Do you watch Marvel ever or any like superhero shit?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, but I like more. I used to dress when I was a kid. I had this costume of Superman. I love Superman. I don't know why.
Oh, I also love Superman. I went to Halloween as Superman.
Oh my God. You should so do a shoot like that. Oh my God. That's how you two bond. You two should do a shoot dressed as Superman.
It was good. I undone the Superman logo onto my top and I made a red cape and I had the tights and like everything. And I felt so good all day. I wanted to wear it every day.
I had like this costume of my brother. My brother is 8 years older than me. So yeah, when I was like 4 years or 5 years, I had this costume of him that my mom gave me, and I used to wear it every weekend to go to the beach because the beach is like 40 minutes away from my hometown. So we will go there. We have another house there, so we'll go there to spend the weekend. And I will be all weekend wearing this costume of Superman.
Oh.
I have actually so many pictures of me in this costume. I don't know why. I like when I was a kid, I like to dress up myself in costume. So I will go out in costume, like dress as a princess or like as a witch.
I love the idea of a little Sita running around on the beach dressed as Superman. That's like unbelievably cute. Love that.
Yeah, yeah.
And now you dress other people up for a living and yourself in crazy costumes and stuff. Because some of the things you do are almost like drag because they're like caricatures of everything, which I love. Like you take something and really exaggerate it.
Yeah.
That's what I guess is always the most interesting thing for me with the images that you make is like that exaggeration of like, I'm going to take this thing, then I'm going to magnify it.
Yeah, even my friends, like in an everyday basis, like how I dress, like my friends tell me that I wear costumes. Like they're like, well, you like to dress up yourself. You like to change every day yourself. So one day I'm like dressed more goth and then like super sexy. And then the next day I'm like wearing like super baggy clothes, like a lot of color. I don't know. It's like, I don't put like really limits, as I said before, on what I do or how I express myself. And the most important thing on this is like, you don't need to give a fuck about what the rest thing, basically. That's the most important thing for me.
But this is exactly it with self-expression. It's like seeing Billie Eilish do that Vogue cover was really interesting. People were like, no, because she's supposed to be this girl with green hair and she wears baggy t-shirts. It's like, this is it.
Why? Why she needs to be that? She can be whatever the fuck she wants, And if she wants to be sexy, she can be sexy. If she wants to be baggy, wearing baggy clothes.
On Tuesday, she can be the baggy girl. On Wednesday, she can be the Vogue girl. On Thursday, she can be fucking dressed as a dinosaur if she fucking wants to be. Like, why?
Yeah, but
why not?
Yeah, this is a problem of the society we live in, that there is like a need to categorize everything to find a meaning of it. And it's like, no, we don't need to categorize nothing. Like it's not, it's not say.
I think the more people see amazing examples of people who refuse to be in those category boxes, then I think the more it kind of opens people's minds. Like even at HE.SHE.THEY, because some people understand like the clothing and they experiment and they come and they understand we have performers and they get that. Some people come because they're just buying a ticket to see the DJ, and then they come in and they see that lots of people are dressed differently, and it does take them a little while to get used to it. We have some people say like, oh, why are you dressed like it's Halloween? And it's like
like in my hometown they used to tell me that. In my hometown they used to be like, why are you dressed like in Halloween? When I used to be goth, they used to tell me a lot of times this thing, if I was like in Halloween, why are you dressed in Halloween? Or it will arrive the day of Halloween and people will tell me, oh, you're dressed already. I'm like, no, I'm not dressed. I'm not dressed. But yeah, I mean, like, no say, I don't, before when I was a teenager, I would suffer a lot from this thing, and I would take it very personally, you know, and I would be like, oh, like, I will even not get in a fight with people, but I will be like, why are you saying that? Like nowadays, I don't really like judge people when they cannot understand or when they don't understand, because, you know, at the end, no sé, it's como, I don't know how to explain it, but I just don't take it personally, and like, I'm happy that, for instance, if somebody tells me, oh, you're dressed differently and are you dressed in Halloween? It's like, no say, at the end, I'm happy to be the time they see something that changes their mind, or that they open their minds, you know. And
exactly. You know. And we've had people who have previously sort of said those Halloween comments, but then they actually had such a good time at the party, and then they'll come back next time and they'll have pulled something from the back of their wardrobe that maybe they only wore at a festival, or that they only thought they could wear for that like one thing, and then they've cut it up and they're changing it and they're excited about what they're wearing. And I'm like, yes, that is what I want, because it's okay if you felt like that once before, but just to open minds and be like, actually, like, do you feel different and excited when you put on these different items and you come into the club like this? Like, you're freer, like you party differently. And I love like showing people that they're free to like let go and express themselves and explore different ways that they could be. It's really, really nice to see.
Yeah.
I also like telling people to shut the fuck up and mind their own business.
I know, but you know, when people say something, like I just laugh. Sorry. I just laugh and say, "What?" Yeah. Like, you know, it's like,
like, why does it bother you? It's like,
yeah, like, but that's what I'm saying. When I was younger, like, I used to take it so personally. Like I would be like, oh, like these people are offending me. Like, oh. You know, and now it's like, as I said before, like, you know, I'm happy I'm opening your mind. At the end, no sé, I don't expect that, but I also understood with the years that what I do in all aspects of my life and of my work, I'm not trying anybody to understand it. Mm-hmm. Because before I would love to everybody to understand me, and this could cause me like frustration. You know, when you realize as a teenager also that not everybody can like you, or, you know, this kind of thing. When I was a teenager, I would be like, oh, like I want to be like nice with everybody, like I want to be friends with everybody. But then you realize, obviously, when you grow up, that not everybody can be your friend, or not, you know, or not everybody can like you, and all this kind of thing. Yeah. And yeah, when I was younger, I would take this so personally, and nowadays it's like, you know what? If you don't understand me, go and fuck off. Bye.
No, I totally get it. I used to hate it when someone that I didn't like still didn't like me back. I'd be like, but I'm a nice person. You're a dickhead. You should still like me though. Like, yeah, I want everyone to be my friend, and just sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like, and it's okay for not everyone to like you, 100%.
Sita, are you looking forward to traveling again and doing more gigs once all the sort of COVID restrictions are lifted, or have you really enjoyed like being a bit more still and being able to be creative in different ways?
I miss traveling a lot, and I miss playing in clubs, and I miss going out and listening to live music. and all these things. But somehow, and yeah, obviously this has been a disaster for the entertainment industry. But I needed a stop, a little bit of a stop and a break, because I was traveling so much for so many years with non-stop, and like taking so many flights that I didn't really have a lot of time to sit down and like finish my projects and create the projects and develop the projects that I wanted to do since many years. And that helped me a lot to develop everything that I wanted to make. And yeah, so it was like a good time for me. I was all year, last year, I was in London, my place. For me, were like months. I was there not for a year because I was coming here to visit my family for some time. I went to Ibiza for a month and all that. But the rest of the time that I was in London, I was just taking it for meditation and like eating well and like doing exercise and like focusing on the music and focusing on the other projects that I have.
Amazing. I've also found a lot more time for meditation and things. I was traveling, well, Steve and I both were, but yeah, we were traveling a lot to gigs and festivals like all over the world, and like it is just so draining. Like everyone sees all the glamour because you maybe get to take one like great picture in these different places and it seems like super glamorous, but the reality, as much as there is fun, the reality is it's mostly airports and planes and being jet lagged, and it's really tiring.
Yeah, definitely it was like a bad thing for the entertainment and all these shows, but I needed some time for myself.
Have you had any like favorite gigs in recent years, like before COVID, where you've come off the decks and you're just like, oh, this crowd was really, really feeling my set. That was amazing. Like, have there been any favorite moments in the booth?
Favorite moments in the booth? Well, I think the moment that I said, wow, like I didn't expect this crowd was the first time. Well, I played at Lollapalooza like a year and a half ago, no, 2 years ago, and there was like a massive crowd. Like it was so full, and the stage was so big, and I was like, wow, like I didn't expect that. I think that was like the best one that I had, and obviously was I'm thinking of shows that I liked. Right now, it feels like it was like 5 years ago, and probably was like a year and a half ago. I don't know. Right now, I feel like every club that is like I love when I play, especially like in small clubs and dark, very small and dark clubs, more than like massive clubs. I don't know, I'm thinking right now.
It feels like it's really personal, like what you were saying about people not talking to each other. Like you get to get real close with people's personal journeys with the music, and like actually like see their faces like get lost in the tunes and stuff. That's always really cool to watch when I'm traveling with my artists. That's really nice.
Also, like, you're a goth.
Yeah.
So like you like dark, industrial, weird spaces, right? Like, whereas like, because I noticed you played Ushuaia a few times. It's like Ushuaia is a great club, but it's so different if you play like Bazzani or something where it's just a dark club, like, you know, like playing something that like could be a club scene from The Matrix or something, where like Sophia and I both like going to fetish clubs and stuff, because like just being in those places where the aesthetic of everybody is different and weird, and everyone's really open because they're just like they're living their kind of fantasy lives, but also probably their fantasy life is also probably closer to their who they really are as a person than their like normal life. But the only thing is the music's normally really shit in those clubs, so we need people like yourself to go DJ them and make the music a little bit better. What's out of like, because you've done so many things, have you got like 3 more life goals that like, these are 3 things that like, if I could do anything and I was told the universe, or I cast my runes as a witch to make happen, what would those 3 things be?
My goal would be to be an actress too. And then, well, as a personal goal, to have a family.
That's just as important as anything else, honestly.
The third goal, I mean, will be to keep doing what I'm doing for many years, basically. If I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm more than happy. I mean, for me, I'm already living my dream. If I think about me years ago, I would never expect to have the life I have right now. And yeah, it took me like a lot of work and all that and effort. But if I can choose something, would be to keep doing basically what I'm doing, because what I'm doing right now is what makes me happy.
So do you think, because obviously you've worked with like Kim Kardashian and J Balvin, and you've worked for Fenty and all those things, do you still think that this podcast is probably the greatest moment of your career so far?
Yeah, actually, because usually when they make me questions, this is the greatest podcast I ever done. especially because
oh my God.
they always ask me. Well, not always. Let's not say always, but sometimes when they make me, especially interviews and all that, the questions are very stupid. I don't think people know very well what they can ask me. And I'm happy that our conversation was great and fun. Basically, we talk about everything. Hola.
Yeah. I mean, we're three witches here. I'm a warlock. Sophie is definitely a witch.
Hi.
Yeah, it's like The Craft, exactly. I fucking loved that film. If there was any film that made me be like, thank God I'm a goth, it's that.
Have you gone to the club in London? Great. I never been, but I have a friend of mine that usually goes there, and it's a super goth club. Everybody is dressed super goth, like super...
Which one? There's a fetish one called Torture Garden, where everyone is like real...
What was the name of the other? I know that this one is very well known, but I can't remember the name right now.
Oh, what, like Club Verboten or Crossbreed?
It could be. I can't remember now. But next time,
well, when you next come to London, Sita, we could take you on a tour of all the gothiest, weirdest places.
Do you know, we should take you to, have you been to Monster Queen?
No.
Oh.
Monster
Queen, you would fucking vibe off.
Let's go next time.
Yeah.
You know that I live in London, right? Well, still in London. Yeah. Even though I don't go, but yeah.
No, there's a night called Inferno as well. Inferno Monster Queen, where it's super techno-y, and people just, you would be in your element because everybody is so transformational, but it's really well done.
Yeah.
And everyone's just so nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to just finish by saying that we're really, really looking forward to the Radio 1 residency. Although I think by the time this goes out, the Radio 1 residency will already have happened. So I'm going to tell everybody to please go and check out Sita's Radio 1 residency set. We'll put it in the show notes how you can go and listen. And I think you're going to really enjoy it. So go check it out.
And it's probably an award-winning one by this point.
Yes.
Because I loved the set that you did for us last year. Because
for the Beatport Christmas party, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Were you at the same time, like having to, like your sister was giving birth or something like the same day? It was like something really crazy.
Where was I? No, my sister was giving birth. I was in Murcia, but I was in London before. No, that was recorded in London at my place, I think.
Oh, was that recorded yours? Because I think I thought
so,
you were in Spain for that one, you know.
Oh, no, in Barcelona, actually,
Yeah.
We filmed it, yeah. I was here in Barcelona at this studio. Yeah, that was like with the dark background. Yeah. That's so nice, that studio. Yeah.
That was really like nice. The vibe was gothy, the music was dark, and it's like, I totally understood what you were trying to channel. And like, the reception was really, really good. Because again, even when like our own scenes, you still get people who were a bit like, is it that model girl? Isn't she an influencer? It's like, no, trust. Like we're never gonna ever platform someone who like isn't actually good at what they do.
I'm happy that you guys understand it.
Yeah. So we were just like, just shut up and just listen. And then when people just
Yeah.
listen to like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, it's just, but it's funny because as well as you get people who were like, I don't understand, like, other person's a goth, like, I don't get them. You have it sometimes on the other side of things where people who kind of dress extreme get like weird about people who dress in a different way, even to them. And you're like,
Right.
God, how can you be so open-minded in one way, an alternative, but so close-minded at the same time? It's like,
Right.
like, you know, we had people, as I say, on the page who were like, why are you celebrating Billie Eilish? Because she's in this like heteronormative kind of way. It's like, and she looks conventionally attractive. It's like, we don't just like people because they're unconventional. We like all types of people. And it's like, I think the photo we'd done just before was like somebody, like some digital image of like 4 arms or something. It was like, it's not like we just post pictures of like really conventional beauty people, but it's just, it's okay to have all those different images. And tomorrow, if you decided to have really like long, straight blonde hair and a bob, why not?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to your kind of normcore photo shoot that you do, where you take York or someone and make her like super like normal. It'd be loves.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said in an interview, they interviewed me for Vogue like a month ago, and they asked me what's beauty for me, and I say, like, what do I think about the beauty canons and all of that, and I say, well, a woman needs to feel like she's the only spectator. You know, and it's about every person should feel like they are the only spectators, because that's when the problem will end, because we put ourselves limits because of our insecurities also, but also because what other people think and all that. And I think when we dress up or when we do whatever we do in life, I think we should think that we are the only spectators, because then we will act accordingly with what we have inside, you know, not with thinking with what the others are thinking.
That's so true. The reason we hold ourselves back is always because of others, even if it's us. But the reason we've got those insecurities is because of the way others have spoken to us or treated us as we've been growing up or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're totally right.
Right.
To be honest, Sita, we really, really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're bored of you now, Sita.
I'm just really aware of how...
Go away.
I love you guys.
We love you too.
I want to thank you a lot for all the support that you guys give me. I have seen everything that you post and everything, and I'm so happy. Thank you.
Oh,
really.
You're so welcome. It's a pleasure and an honor. And thank you for doing the interview for us. And thank you for agreeing to the Radio 1 mix. I think that's going to be really cool. Yeah. We really want to get you playing at a show and stuff so that we can meet and say hi, and we can go to Pubs the Queen and fun things like this. And
you can meet up our like fully fucked up family, which is just
you'll
like...
love the HE.SHE.THEY family. And
it's just like it's really weird. Everyone's really like just like likes to have a laugh, and they're really nice. And I think that's like, if you've got those 3 things, creative, nice, and funny, like everything else is just easy, man.
And there it is, the extremely talented Sita Abellan. I mean, I thought me and Brains were busy, but wow. What a gorgeous person as well. And check out the show notes for how to connect with Sita online and how to check out her Lilith by Sita fashion line, which I'm a little bit obsessed with. If you enjoyed today's chat, please follow, review us, send to a friend. It really, really helps more people discover this podcast and the message of HE.SHE.THEY around the world. Thank you. Until next time, family.